Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I am so happy to be here with you for Bloom Daily Planners. Today, we're going to go for something a little bit different. We're going to do a monthly plan with me. So I know it's already the third. Just think of it like an April Fool's joke or something. But we're going to be planning out our April together. I have all of my supplies, I have my important dates, and I have some kind of guidance for you on some of our tips and tricks that we have picked up as a planner company and as planners ourselves for making sure that your month gets started the right way and making sure that you have everything that you need at your fingertips when you need it so you know exactly what you're doing this month to help you reach your goals. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I have two different planners here. One is more to just show you another option. We're going to be planning in this is kind of my, social media, like decorating planner. And if I need to, I'll pop myself down into the corner so that you can see the whole spread. But I have a big hardcover 8.5 by 11 planner here. And then I also have our monthly planner. And this is the planner that I use for planning all of Bloom's content. For anyone who is new or might be watching this later on in the replay, my name is Caitlin. I am the assistant marketing and operations manager. I basically run the social media for Bloom. And so I 100% have to have a monthly plan in place at all times for work, for myself, for my family. It's a must. So yeah, let's talk about when you're getting ready to plan your month, what some of the important things that you should have available, ready to go. The first thing you're going to want to do is have all of your set important dates. So think fixed dates, so birthdays, anniversaries, major holidays. Most of the holidays are going to be in your planner already, but not all of them are. And there might be some bonus extras. We post in our Instagram stories and in our Facebook community every month on the first of the month with some bonus holidays that are kind of more for fun and just something you might want to add in that makes you smile. For instance, today was National Inspiring Joy Day, which I very much appreciated and embraced, I think. So adding in any of those holidays that you do want to celebrate, as well as any of the more recognized common holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, like we said, and any major, like super impactful deadlines, right? Like for April specifically, it's in here, but if you haven't already, taxes are due on April 15th. So if you need to know that specific, if you haven't gotten there and you're planning yet, you're going to want to make sure you focus on those super important dates. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to actually put these in my planner as we go, because I figured, two birds with one stone. There we go. And I would actually plan with you. Called a plan with me for a reason, right? So I did slightly set myself up for success. I won't say cheat, it's not cheating. And I have my important dates written out. If that is something that is hard for you to remember to transfer your dates over, we do also have a perpetual calendar that's it's like a pad, right? Like a list pad, but it flips over and has the spirals at the top so that like these kind of spirals at the top so that it doesn't have a year. It's just a list of dates for each month and you can write in all your important dates and carry it over year after year. So you could flip to that and put exactly what you need in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get those jotted in now. The number one thing I think makes it easier is find your favorite pen, pencil, whatever you like to write with. I'm going to apologize now because I write usually sideways, so I'm going to do my best to write straight across so that it looks presentable to you. I do see that we have at least a couple people here, so if you are watching, I'd love for you to check in, leave me a comment, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you are a monthly planner, if you are more of like a weekly, daily focus, if you do all of it, I want to hear it. So the first thing I'm going to put in is my husband and I. It is our 14th together anniversary on April 11th. It's a very special day for us. I can't believe it's been 14 years, so I don't want to forget that. And then on the 18th, the Bloom girls and I have a major trip coming up. We have Go Wild this month. So on the 18th, we're going to fly with Bloom to Dallas. And I'm just telling you right now, I don't have beautiful penmanship. I'm not going to be hand lettering. If that is you, my hat's off to you. I love that for you, but it's not me. And I'm not worried about this being beautiful. I'm worried about it helping me stay on track for the month. So we're flying to Dallas. These 2 days are Go Wild. Okay, and then we're going to fly home. I have to move this over. Oh, Marty's taking notes in New Jersey. Thank you so much for checking in. I definitely appreciate that. So we're going to fly home on the 21st. All right, so those are my biggest, like absolutely have to have them written down dates for the month, right? Those are my most important dates. So then I'm going to schedule all of my reoccurring events, right? So things that I know I need to block out time for every week, or maybe it's like every Tuesday, right? So we'll just do all of these first, and then we'll worry about color coding. So tonight, if you didn't know, we have a Bloom Live tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that down here. Bloom Live at 8. Okay. Normally we have 2 lives a month. I'm warning you guys right now. Our next live would be the Monday after Go Wild, and I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, you know what? It wouldn't. It's gonna be the 15th. So we will be live on the 15th because that's the 3rd Monday of the month, and that's what we do here. So we're gonna go ahead and write that in. I forgot that April 1st is on a Monday. So Bloom Live at 8 on April 15th. Elena's here checking in from Baltimore. She also needs to still sit down and plan April. I'm hoping this gives you some inspiration and motivation then, Elena. I appreciate you for being here. So we have our Bloom Lives. Those are reoccurring. I also have my own lives that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm just going to put a little live in the corner. And the reason that I am going to write them in is because this week that we're flying, I had to move my Thursday to Wednesday. So I'm going to have back-to-back that week. And then we'll go back to the normal schedule like that. Okay. So those are my lives. Those are my reoccurring events that happen, very regularly for me. And then the next thing we're going to tackle are our one-time events. So think doctor's appointments, social gatherings, right? Things like that. So for me, for that, I did, and some of these I am going to write in from today, right? But like, I know it happened today, but I want to also be able to look back and see that it happened today. So for this guy, we're going to put in, I had a therapy appointment today. Go me. At 1:15. I like to keep track of those so I know how often I'm seeing her. And my next appointment is the 12th, is next Friday. So that's at 12:30. Okay. I have a college roommate girl lunch on Sunday, and I do think, to me, that falls under self-care. We're going to talk about that a little more in a minute here. But I am going to pop that under. So we call ourselves the Annabelle Girls because we lived on Annabelle Street for college. So we're going to have an Annabelle Girl lunch. Hillary's checking in from California. She also needs to still plan in April. See, I wanted to level set. Some of the feedback I got was like, well, people are already going to be scheduled for April. And I was like, I bet I'm not the only one who hasn't scheduled my April. I have a sneaking suspicion that that would be true. So we're in this together. There's no shame over here. Okay, so we have my lunch with the girls. I also really like to mark paydays. So I have a payday on the 12th and on the 26th. And I just put a little $sign there for that. And then I have some other important things that I like to add to mine, and you might not want to add to your paper planner. It might go on like a family calendar instead. I like to have the smaller Bloom desk and wall calendar, because it fits on my fridge and I can write out all of the family's activities there so that everybody can look at it and we can all be on the same page. So I am going to write in though, my daughter has a field trip this month and she has a school presentation. So Alex's presentation is also the 11th. And the field trip, I forgot to grab the date, but in theory, that would go in here too. And then the other things, right? Those are my non-negotiables. These are things that I know I have to do. They have to get done. They're going to happen whether I'm ready for them or not. So I better be ready, right? And then everything else we plan is a choice. It's all really a choice. If you needed to, obviously we could move things around. We could say no, we could shift things. But in my mind, these things are I've set up that boundary. These are my non-negotiables as far as important dates, right? Everything else that I add in now, I can fill in. Now that I have my most important things in place, I can fill in around with my prioritized tasks. So when we're thinking about how we're going to prioritize our tasks, there's a couple different ways we can focus on those, and we can pick what is important to us. So you can think of it based on time. So how much time do you have? Is it a deadline? Is it an appointment? Is it something that's time sensitive? And that could be something that has to happen this month. It could be if you have a goal, let's say that you're going to hit a certain number of miles you're running, I don't know, by July, and you have to break that up each month, you're going to want to prioritize that based on how much time you have left, right? Those kinds of things. So you're going to think of it in a timely manner, what needs to get done first. If that stresses you out and you don't like being on a time crunch, or that's just not how your brain works, you can also stack it into importance based, right? So we've talked a little bit in the past about Stephen Covey, and in a talk that he gave, and you can find it on YouTube, in 1994, he did a talk talking about big rocks. So this is my version of big rocks, but it could look different for each person. And that's where you take what is the absolute most important to you and you place those events first. And then you can fill in the rest. Because if you do it the other way around and you fill in all the little things, and then at the end, you're like trying to find time to get these big goals or these big important things done, you're never going to have the time. So you can do importance based, where you pick your maybe top 3 and you get those scheduled in. And then you can fill in, with a nail appointment or whatever else you want to do. Another way to think about it, just as you're planning and picking what other things you're going to do this month, you can think of it as a self-out ripple. And so what I mean by that is you can pick, okay, what are my personal goals? What am I going to do for me? What's going to help me reach my goal? And maybe that's a fitness class that you take every Tuesday, right? Or maybe it's that you're going to read or listen to an audiobook for 30 minutes every Tuesday and Thursday, right? And you take care of those big goals for yourself. And then the next thing you're going to look at is your closest relationship to you. So for me, that would be me and my husband. So what plans can I put in here, right? With our anniversary and a date night and maybe other things, what can I plan in here for me and him together to intentionally set that time aside? Okay. And then out from there, my family. So something I am going to put in here now is I love to garden. My girls love to garden. And the last frost date for us is April 15th. I don't feel like waiting, right? Because I'm going to be away the next weekend and I'm not waiting all the way until the 27th. So on the 13th, my girls and I are going to have a garden date. And we're going to go to our local nursery and we're going to pick out all of our veggies and we're going to come home. We're going to make a plan for where everything's going in our garden. And I'm intentionally setting that time now because we're going to figure out an anniversary thing. I think we're going to try to do that this weekend. But besides my stuff for me and my stuff with my husband, that is so important to me that I plan that time with my kids intentionally now, because if I don't mark it down, I'm going to forget. And then it's going to be May. And yes, I can plant plants in May, but they're going to be so excited to do it right away. So those are the types of things you want to add. And then obviously from there, you can fill in with extra work projects or extra community projects or whatever. But you want to start with yourself and then the relationship and the family and the community and let everything kind of ripple out from you. So that's another way you can think about it. Something else that we've heard a lot about from our like chronic illness community that we've been talking to and working with for a while is more of an energy-based priority. So if you might be familiar with the phrase spoons, how many spoons do you have? How much energy do you have for that day? So if you know, like I know for me, Sundays are for grocery shopping and not much else as far as like what I expect of myself, because Sundays I want to relax. I want to veg. I don't want to plan anything big because I know by Sunday I will not have the energy to do or want to do anything important. I just know that for me. So if I'm going to plan a big project like my garden date with the girls, right? My 14th is wide open. I'm not scheduling it that day. I'm going to schedule it on the 13th because I know Saturdays is when I have the energy and that's when I'm going to be able to spend that time with them. So you can also shift things around based on your energy and concentration levels. If you're very aware of your like mental health and kind of your ups and downs through the week or the month, keep those things in mind. I'd love if anyone's feeling open, I hope that you do feel safe here. I'd love to see in the comments if you have a preference between those. Do you prioritize by importance, by time, like for yourself and then out, or by energy? Or do you have a different method? Maybe you have something that I've never heard of. I'm sure there are many more ways to prioritize. I'd love to hear them. So the other thing that's really important when we are planning like this is to allocate time for tasks, right? I have a couple days where I have multiple things at once, but those aren't really my things, or I have plenty of time, right? I have therapy this afternoon. I have my live at 8. Those aren't going to overlap. That's not going to stress me out. For the 11th, my anniversary is that day. Yes, it's all day. My daughter's presentation, that's more work for me here than it is on the 11th. So that's not going to stress me out. I'm not booking anything else on this day with my kids because I'm anticipating that that's going to take a couple hours at least. And then I'm going to need to rest because it's going to be a lot mentally and physically. So allotting enough time so that you're not overcommitting is going to help to make sure that your tasks are getting done and they're getting done with your full attention. So that's just something else that's good to keep in mind. Hillary said she starts with importance and then goes by energy. So there's some big things that she knows she has to do. And then from there, it's when she's going to have the energy to do the other stuff. And I love that. Hillary, I know you've been healing and trying to get back on track. So I think for so many people that's beneficial, but especially for somebody who is working on healing their body. And for me, mental health is always, top of mind, healing my mind, being gracious with myself. I love it. I think it's super important to give yourself that time when you need it. So you want to make sure that you're also batching similar tasks whenever you can. So I find it's easy, instead of trying to put like declutter, clean the sink, clean the bathroom, and maybe having everything crazy through the month. Maybe I pick, Monday nights, well, except for that one, right? Monday nights in general, I don't have lives, I don't have extra work. So maybe every Monday I pick an hour and I do as many cleaning things as I can in that 1 hour. So instead, it can go either way. If that feels overwhelming for you, space it out. But in general, it's recommended that if you can batch similar things, then you know that once it's tackled, that's it for the week. And that gives you that extra brain space to do whatever else you need to do. So I would say, like, Mondays, I have my hour of cleaning and I get, Nikki from, oh my gosh, Plan with Grace. Um, she had given us all those tips about kind of zones and focusing on one area at a time. So maybe I clean the bathrooms for an hour, and then anything else I can do. And then I declutter, and then I clean the floors, deep clean the floors. So you can still have it in multiple spots, but by having everything kind of condensed to 1 day a week or 1 hour that you're committing to, you're more likely to get them done and not feel super overwhelmed. Let's see what else are on my notes. Definitely important to include your self-care activities. So it's up to you where those lie on your prioritization scale, right? For me, I have a hobby that is very creative. And so in some ways it feels like work if I let it, but in many ways it is still self-care. It is my creating my art while I'm actually making it feels like self-care. So making sure that I have the time through the week to do those activities. Or one of the Bloom girls takes fitness classes regularly, so she schedules out her fitness class, and for her that is her self-care. If it's, if you get your nails done, if you get your lashes done, if you go to get your hair cut every other month or 6 weeks or however often you're supposed to do that. I don't go as often as I'm supposed to, clearly, but making sure that you have time for that, or noting like, hey, I have something this Sunday, something that Sunday. So maybe this Sunday, I'm going to block out a morning where I can sleep in and take my time getting up and maybe do a little morning meditation. And it doesn't have to be all day. It doesn't have to be an outing. It doesn't have to be a treat. It can just be something you're doing for yourself. But if we don't notice the times and find the time in here to do that and take care of yourself and refill your cup, as it were, you're not going to do it and you're going to get burnt out. That's no good. I see we got another hello through Facebook. Hello, I'm so glad that you're here. I feel like I'm going to butcher that, but I'm going to go with Nayurka. That's my best guess. So thank you for coming to hang out. The other big thing, right? Once all of our stuff is in, which, I mean, it feels like there's a good bit of stuff on here, but I know this isn't really everything. So now I'm trying to think of what we did. Paydays, we did lives. Oh, I have a project due this day. That's what I skipped. Project due on Saturday. I think that's good for now. So the next thing we want to do is now's your time to decorate and personalize. So decorate can mean a lot of things. Decorate can mean color coding, which is like organizing and personalizing. It can be stickers, it can be hand lettering, it can be colorful pens if you wanted to do that throughout instead. But the thing we do want to try to avoid is like a super messy, yeah, Terry said stickers, is a super messy layout. Because if I start, you know, kind of like jamming things in. And it's okay that my handwriting isn't the best ever. It's okay that these are kind of jotted down and I didn't use like a ruler. That's not what I mean by messy. But if I start writing sideways and I'm adding way too much information, it can just get really overwhelming and so hard to read. So we don't want to do that. But what I am going to do, what I like to do, is color code. I know I have another. There it is. I can move my important dates out of the way now. So I grabbed mild liners. You can use whatever you prefer, regular highlighters, colorful pens, like I said. And what I'm going to do is go in and I'm going to mark all of my lives in one color so that I know when I see this green on here that that means I have a live. Right, we have 2 that week, and that's going to help me notice that I have 2 in a row. Okay, so those are all my lives. And the other thing you can do, don't be afraid to make yourself a little key, and I'll show you. I'm not just saying this to say it. I have proof that this is really what I do. So we'll say live streams, right? I'm making myself a little key. Nakura also loves stickers. Love that. Go figure. Our Bloomy girls would be sticker fans. We'll put doctor's appointments maybe, or just appointments, right? This month specifically, I don't have any regular doctor's appointments, but that's not normal. I usually have a couple. But we can also just say that those are any kind of appointment. Oh, look, see, I missed a live. So we'll say appointments, and that's good because if anything else comes up, we can easily add to it. I'm going to have, let's do our trip. In pink, right? My Go Wild trip is in pink. Yeah, you guys get the idea. So we're going to color code those so that when I'm looking over, I can see, you know, how many appointments I have, how many lives I have, any important other due dates I can color out. And I do, like I said, I do want to show you something that the girls and I had talked about in the office is that we sometimes with your planner, you know something's coming, but you don't know exactly when it's going to be, or there's a chance that it could change. So what we use in our content planning for Bloom are these little Post-its. And we got these from Amazon. And they are all of these little Post-it tab, little flag. They're not Post-it brand. I shouldn't. They're sticky note tabs, right? And so if I know that I have, I don't know, what's a good idea? If I know that I'm planning another lunch date with my friends, let's just say, but I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be. I just know it's going to be this last weekend of the month. I can take a little Post-it, a little sticky note, and I can say lunch with friends. And then if that needs to change to Sunday instead of Saturday, we just move it on over and we're good to go. So keep that in mind that you can add in other things if you don't want to have to worry about, erasing or shifting or crossing things out. But also let me be clear, I just made a TikTok about this today. Crossing things out does not make your planner bad. It doesn't make you bad. And if it's not a perfectly aesthetic planner, it's still good as long as it's helping you. So let's get that clear from the get-go. You are allowed to cross things out of your own planner. That's okay. The planner police aren't going to come for you. So for our monthly planners, what I do for Bloom, this is like a rough draft. Obviously, I didn't do great keeping up with March. We also have it all digitally, but I like to be able to physically see it. So I will go through and make a mock-up of our posting plan, and they're color coordinated, color coded. And then once I'm done that month, or as I go week by week, right, you can see that for February, I still had some, it was kind of mixed. I will then go in and write everything that happened for that month. And I have my key right here, and I know exactly what I posted and when. And that way, if things had to shift, right, say this Michelle's due date, it did go up that day, but let's say it didn't, I could shift it to the 10th. We can swap things all over the calendar. And then once I know that it's in and locked in, then I can go back in and add it. You can also just leave these, but I found that over time, like over months, they did start to kind of fall out. For that month, they held up really well, but beyond that, not so much. Let's see, do I have one here? I think I have one of my planners from last year too, so that you can again see that I'm not kidding. This is really how I plan my months. This is all social media planning, but you can see originally I was doing like, a little bit of color coding, and then I just gave in and went for it because it made it so much easier to see what my month was going to look like if I just went for bolder color. So keep that in mind, that that is an option for you as well, either those sticky notes or your markers. But then, like everyone said, we all love stickers. We're sticker fans here. So when you have that open space here and there, right? I don't have anything scheduled for Earth Day. See it right there? How will I remember that it's Earth Day if I don't put the Earth Day sticker on it? You know what I mean? Meredith worked so hard making these stickers. It would be doing her a disservice if I didn't use the Earth Day sticker. Marty said, I just realized I need to add self-care to my calendar. I have a better chance of doing it if I see it. 100%. 100%. That is exactly what I hope that you all take away from this. You have to prioritize whatever is the most important to you. And that might be different for everybody. But if you're not marking it down and you're not being intentional with your time, it will just run away from us, unfortunately. Oh, and Kaylin said she loves my seasonal colors. I do try to pick seasonal colors. I'll show you. I was pretty proud of the last couple months. I keep one of these for Bloom social media and one for my own social media. But like this is April, right? She's really springy. And then March, I was going for like Irish and like, pot of gold. And then February was all pink and purple and love. And January was like a little frosty, cool tone. So there are still ways that you can add that color and personalization without necessarily having to have, a fully colored and hand lettered spread. Because if that is you, I admire you. And if it's not you, I feel you. So I just want to add, right? Like we have how perfect is that? Our little plant, our little hand holding the dirt. That's going to go here for my garden trip with my babies. What else is cute? I mean, I'm just loving all of these for spring. I know that I'm personally not going to put anything for like May, I'll flip to the next month for that. So I love to use these as a place to put my extra stickers. And for anybody who has seen in our sticker book, these like long washi style stickers, I just want to show you them kind of in action because we get, I think we get questions pretty often about like, well, what am I supposed to do with those? And so what you can do is add them either like one block at a time or just to like, you know, a couple spaces here and there. They fit 3 across. So you can do, you know, one on each side. But if you're going to trim them down, you can split them up. But they just add like a nice little, a little touch. You can cut them into thirds and put them throughout. You can kind of alternate them. Meredith was going over those with me today in case anybody had questions about them. It's been rainy. We'll add a little rain cloud, right? So we can have kind of our highlights. I don't like to use a ton of the single stickers for my monthly. To me, it makes it a little harder to read. I prefer to use those in my weekly spreads. But for my big things, right, like my garden trip, maybe my lunch with the girls, let's flip all the way to the back in here. In the back of this, we have a whole page of treats and foods. So let's find some fun foods. And those will kind of be my big, oh, and travel, right? We're going to go wild. We have to be extra excited about that. It's my first trip to go wild. I'm very excited to share with you guys everything that happens when we get back. I think it's going to be really fun. So we'll have traveling on that day. And we need, oh yeah, we need, usually we go for pizza. So we'll just guess and say that we're going to go for pizza. There we go. So I have my biggest 3 things marked with their stickers. I have some extra little washi here and there. I have my dates color coded, my biggest events. Yes, Alina, this is our Stickers Make Everything Better. This is volume 1 of our Bloom sticker book, but all of our sticker packs also have tons of really cute options. I love this one because it has some of the like self-care, some of the different foods, crafty stuff, traveling stuff, events, parties, and then you get the monthly like icons and a coordinating like washi style. And then in the back, it has matte stickers that you can write on. Love that. And you know what? We can add one of those in here. And I'll show you guys how I like to use those in my monthly. And then you also get the foiled. See how it has that gold foil shine? These beautiful foiled stickers. But for the monthly, like I'm going to pop this one here on my fly home day. And I am going to put, this is going to be my bucket list for Go Wild. And so we can just write in there, what do I want to do? I want to vlog, plan JAMA, which let's be honest, I'm probably going to vlog the whole thing. That's gonna happen. I am dying to get a picture with V from Under the Desk News. I have no idea if that's going to happen. It probably won't, but I'm going to start manifesting it now and say it's going to happen. I'm going to get a picture with her. I want to have I want to be part of a Taylor Swift, the Tortured Poets Department listening party. And we'll leave it at that for now. But so you can use those matte stickers to make your little lists. whatever you need. And then once you have everything in your monthly planner, then you can take these and start transferring them into your weekly, right? So like, or even your days. So I know now when I go to do this week's week in here, I can go up here and say, okay, live appointment, and just start plugging those in. And then same for the week after that, right? You can just go right back here. Okay, what do I have the second week going on? So it just helps make it easier, and it helps you to look at your whole month and see what weekends you have open, what days you have open, where you can add extra steps to achieve those goals, or extra steps to take care of yourself, extra steps to take that time and set it aside to intentionally use it for whatever you decide is most important to you. So that could be date night. I hope that it is. Even if it's a friend date, right? Going out with your friends, staying in with your friends. If you have virtual friends, maybe it's doing a girls' Zoom and getting together with your friends virtually. All of it counts. Whatever is important to you, taking that time to set up your month is going to make a huge difference. And especially for your goals, right? We didn't talk a ton about using this for goal setting, but that's what to me this is, right? I'm making the goal, my goals this month, because I know I have some trips and some other things going on. My goals this month are to spend that quality time with my kids so that when I'm traveling, I can be fully present there and not have to worry about the mom guilt and not have to wonder if I spend enough time with them. I'm going to make sure that I am intentionally spending that time with them the weekend before so that while I'm gone, I feel better and I can focus. So a goal doesn't have to be, I'm gonna hit 1 million subscribers. Um, I'm so social media brained at this point. Sometimes, honestly, it's hard for have other goals. Um, we're not going to eat out. We're not going to order out food at all this month, right? Maybe that's your goal. And so your prioritizing is going to be more meal planning and meal prepping and grocery list specific, right? Whatever your goal is, maybe it's to lose X amount of pounds. And so your goals, your steps that you're going to prioritize are your workout classes and also still the meal prep and um, getting in runs or seeing a personal trainer, whatever your goal is for the month. And that's so personal and up to you. And there's no right or wrong. But whatever that is, planning out your month is going to help make sure that you take your time to intentionally work towards it so that you don't look back at April 6 months from now and be like, man, what did I even do that month? I just lost that time. We don't want that for you. That's not where we're going with this. We want, for you to bloom into the best version of yourself, as a matter of fact. Um, and I love the quote. I want to just kind of finish and wrap up. If you have questions about anything we talked about, please take this time to leave it in the comment and we can definitely answer a lot of questions. But I love the quote that's in this planner for this month. And it says, "To those who seek out magic, beauty, and joy, tend to find it." Right? If you're looking for those things, you're gonna find them. If you're so busy and hectic and scattered and just kind of like rolling along with whatever is happening around you, you're going to miss those things. Versus if you take the time to be grateful for the magic and the good things around you, you're going to be so much more likely to see it around you even more, right? So I am so grateful to you guys for hanging out. I hope that this does encourage you to get your monthly plan together, even if you're seeing this a couple weeks from now, a couple months from now. This obviously isn't April specific. These tips you can use for any month. And if you're seeing this at the end of this week or next week, it is not too late to plan the rest of your month. Don't think, oh, well, I didn't plan this first couple days, so I guess it's a wash. That's not how it works. This planner is for you. It is here to serve you. And if that means that the second half of the month you plan out and it helps you, then that's great. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Planning your April 3 days in is absolutely acceptable. That's life. That's how it goes. Hillary said she's going to do her monthly plan after she eats. I am so excited. I love that. I love you, Hillary. Thank you all so much for being here. We will be back, as we saw, on Monday, April 15th, with another Bloom Live and hopefully with a friend. I'm going to try to find a friend to bring on because these like back and forth, right? One of just me and one with a friend every month has been really fun. So I am going to find a friend and we're going to be back here on the 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And until then, I hope that you guys have an amazing April. We will see you soon. I always go back and check comments later. So if you're watching this replay later and you have questions, you can always leave them in. I get notified of them and I will answer you as soon as I can. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you have a great April. We'll see you soon and have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.